Right, might as well have to turn down his little game. That's okay, thank you. Yeah. All right, so those that have just joined us on Zoom, I was just introducing Jeff Glover. This was a live course he did about a week or two ago. And I just thought it was really good to share it with more people. We can get you the link to this again if you want to watch this again on your own time. Everyone here has printed out the workbook. So I'm not going to be speaking. You're thankful for that, I'm sure. And I'm going to start the video with Jeff, and he's going to go start right at the workbook. I've kind of skipped the introduction part because I just told you who Jeff was. KW agent in Detroit, Michigan. He's been in this office before to present when he did Grade by Choice one year. And we just really like him. So I'm just going to hit the start and get ready to take some good notes. Where's my start button? Gonna turn it up, so don't panic. Mine. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll send you the link. Okay, fine. Gotta be live, even though he's not live. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Please take water with you if you do it this time of year.
Yes.
So here, he's in Detroit, it's 85 degrees.
Yeah.
So you go to page 9, that's where the morning routine is. Okay. Four. I'll see if I can get that for everybody. I'll need everybody to sign in from the way I can remember. information.
Yes, thank
And you'll get the link to watch.
Okay, yes.
And I realize, I just want to point out something. I realize that he's shooting a lot of information at you in like a fire hose. I would say grab 2 or 3 things that you're fitting to implement in the next couple of weeks, and then layer it on week after week. Go back to this video, look at it again next weeks. That's what I'm doing. Just layering things one by one.
You can do his, or you can do stuff here in the office. I mean, they don't all have to be his. His costs money, so just keep that in mind. He has that page in your workbook. Pages in your workbook. It's about 34. He always does his right before family reunion. He's always at family reunion.
Won't be 100. Phoenix.
Yeah, right.
All right, everybody, nice seeing you all.
Good to see y'all. I'm just gonna recap our 11 tips and then you're on your way home on Friday.
You guys take care.
All right, so tip number one, if you didn't have it, we must know the market and be able to articulate it to our clients. He did it by doing a live video of just telling people how to do the market. Now, what he did with that is he had the hook, right? So on page 4 was the formula to do that initial video to hook people in about the market. You can pick a neighborhood, you can pick a city, you can pick a county, it doesn't matter. You get to decide what it is you want to publish so that you get calls and people interested in that. Number 2, your daily contact log, daily activities to know your goals. For those who have been in coaching since I've been the head coach, and I'm not any longer, but I'm still a coach. This is one thing I tried to get people to do from the very beginning, and nobody would do it. Partly because they weren't doing the activities to record, right? So if you want to kill it in the second half and in your next year even, because your fourth quarter marketing is for next year, you got to get a contact log. I'll see if I can get that one if you want it, but we have a bajillion of them that people use here in the office. We have lots of them, all different kinds. Even in bold, they have a different kind that people use. And it's really just squares. What they do in bold is you mark off numbers, people you have to contact until you actually get money. So X number of contacts before you actually get somebody that wants to do a piece of business. And if you just look at that thing on a regular daily basis, you stick with it because you're like, man, I'm $2 away. I know in the next 2 calls, statistics say you will get business. Sometimes it may be 100 phone calls or 100 contacts before you get business. But then from that business, you might get 2 or 3 additional right away. So on average, 30 calls is getting you 3 pieces of business, right? So think of it that way. Increase your contacts by 5 every work day. So if you're working 5 days a week, that's 25 a week minimum of increase of what you're doing now. If you're doing 0 now, then that's 25. If you're already doing 10 to 20, it's 5 plus that every day. Number 3, how and what we are going to do to get back on track or to exceed your goals for the rest of the year. Figure out what's working and what's not working. For example, my husband has just decided to go back to school to get his master's degree. I need to triple my business so that he will be able to walk away in 2 years or almost 3 years after he's done with the master's to do his new career. Boom. It was like instantaneous. The minute he said he applied for the master's, I instantly knew, okay, to make up for both of us, once he starts the new career, I need to be tripling what I'm doing. And I can do that. I just have to be more focused. I've got to change some things. And some of it may be pulling back from some of the work I'm doing here at the office, just so I can have more time for him and hit our goals. He's worked for my goals our entire 20 years of marriage. It's my time to give that. Right. He said one of these ways was to make an impression with door knocking, leave a message on their ring. I actually do this when I show houses. If someone has a ring, when I come to the door, I say, hi, it's Janet Ward with Keller Williams. And I let myself and my clients in. And when I leave, I say, thank you for allowing me to show your home. It's a beautiful home. We'll be in touch.
Do you have to ring it when you say goodbye?
No, I don't do anything.
Don't do anything.
Because a lot of people, their ring just automatically comes to their phone. If it's activated by someone approaching it, they can hear what's being said.
So it's a thing that's a different kind of thing. Is that the one that?
It's a little
the black
camera.
one? Yeah.
It could be black or white,
I
but
see,
it's got a camera on it. So
Yeah.
anytime I see a camera device at the front door,
Oh,
I say, hi, it's Janet Ward with Keller Williams.
good.
And then when I leave, thank you so very much. And I check the door while I'm doing it, so they know I checked the door before I left.
And if that's not rain, is there anything?
Well, I can't really at that moment, right? But
At least.
when I can, I do. One of my clients chewed out an agent on his ring because she left the front door wide open in the middle of July. While she and her clients walked through the house, he screamed at her, shut
Like,
Because I mean-
an old lady screamed at her.
in the ring. He could see it on his phone. He's like, she's not shutting the door. She's not shutting the door. She just let 10 people in and she didn't shut the door. And he has cameras all over the house, so he knew what they were up. Shut the door. I mean, he screamed at her and she's like, I'm dying. That's one of my pet peeves too. When I go to show a house, I go into the house, I shut the door and I lock the door. It's for our safety.
Yeah.
If we go upstairs or back in the back of the house, anybody can walk in on us. And so I teach my clients that. I say, just so you know, once we're all in, I lock the door back just so that we all know nobody else can just walk in, because you all know that happens. I had a guy randomly walking down a street once, the other side of the street, probably 50 yards away. I pulled into a house to show the house to my client. She was coming separately in a different car. I got out of the car, I noticed him, I thought, that's weird for a middle-aged white man to be out on the street this time of day. He should be at his work, right? He should be at his job. But he wasn't. And so I went in the house and I locked the door. That man crossed the street and came up right to that door. Knocked on it. And I just watched him through the people.
Wow.
I didn't say a word. When I got in the house, there was a window right by the window. I closed those blinds. And I just stood right behind that door and I watched him through the people. There's no way. He was 50 yards away from me. But he saw one female get out of a car and walk into a building. So I texted my client, when you get here, leave your car doors locked. I will come get you. Do not get out of the car. I mean, it was just kind of a freaky thing. So he said, 60 minutes a day, do hybrid farming. So that may be door knocking, but at the same time, you can be handing out market stats. See what I'm saying? So do a market stat, do a handout, door knock the whole time, or combining some things. Hey, I've got a house over here I'm getting ready to do an open house on. We're inviting all the neighbors. And by the way, have you all thought about listing your home as well? You know, kind of mix in some of your marketing pieces together. He said the best time to door knock is between 3:30 and 5 p.m. on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays. I missed number 4. So what does somebody have for number 4?
Or have a good farming, hybrid farming.
Okay, so that was
Hybrid farming.
hybrid farming was 4. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Number 5, your new weekday routine. Gary Keller will tell you it's not about selling real estate, it's about keeping a schedule. And this is something I need to improve on as well. So back on a schedule, he gave you the idea of his. He gets up at 6 a.m. He wakes up, he sweats a little bit, and he does some mindset. Maybe he does some meditation or listening to music, whatever that is for him. 7 a.m. he gets ready, he does an accountability call, and they do role playing. 8 a.m. he's at the office and he prospects expires. 8:30 he does old expires. 9 a.m. mindset break, meaning get up, walk around the office probably, get some coffee, and then he prospects for sale by owners. 9:30 he's prospecting his hybrid farm again. 10, lead follow-up. This could be people you've talked to already. This could be people you followed or met at an open house, and you need to follow up with them. Anything like that. And then social media content creation. It's not, hey, let's scroll Facebook and see who's awake. He's saying just create content, which our California concierge group already has a whole bunch of neat stuff for us. So take that into consideration. And then do a weekend routine as well, working one or the other. Did you notice he did not say work 7 days a week? Don't work 7 days. He said 5.5 or 6 maximum. Do not work 7 days a week. You have to have a life. You have to have a day of rest. You have to have time with your family. Right? Don't work. I know that if I'm gonna work a Sunday, I don't work Saturday. I know if I'm gonna work a little bit on Saturday, I guarantee you I do not work on a Sunday. Sometimes if I have to work a Saturday and a Sunday, maybe I have an out-of-town client that needs to see houses, Monday and Tuesday is my weekend. So make sure you make time for life amongst doing these. And if you keep to a schedule, you'll get so much accomplished. And then your afternoons are filled with appointments. That's how that works. Prospecting and lead generating in the morning, appointments in the afternoons. On weekend, he sleeps in 1 more hour. So then there's the weekend routine is number 6. Number 7, execute your 3rd quarter value plan, and that was pages 12 through 15.
What page?
12 through 15 was the Q3 database plan. And July started quarter 3. So this may even push. We're gonna be a little behind on July because we're almost at the end of July. So then think of this as the end of 3rd quarter, so August to September and the beginning of October. You know, October, November, December is your 4th quarter. However, really the business model in real estate ends in October because whatever you're doing in November and December is what gets you in January, February. So like my capping month is March. I build up a lot of my business in November, December, and January so that I get people under contract and I get them closing in March, April, and May so that I can be capped by June. I just did it again this year. That way, for the remainder of that year into the next February, I get what? 100% of my commission minus expenses.
So 4 months ahead. You start 4 months ahead.
I start ahead with heavy lead generation so that I get business under contract in either December, January, February with close dates starting in March. So I can cap in 3 to 4 months, and now I have the remainder of the year. So I get minus $25 for a fee of Max's admin fee. I will deduct any of my transaction coordinator fees or my photographer fees or staging fees, right? So it's 100%, but you still are paying fees out of it. Always keep that in mind. But stack it as fast as you can before at the beginning of your cap year, starting over, stack it, stack it, stack it. This was the text morning to 55444. This was on page 16. This is his new app. I think he said it was going live August 1st. So go ahead and text that. I still get his morning texts now, but everything in the future will go through his app.
And that's free.
Yeah, it's free. Absolutely free. Number 8, I believe, was update your social media strategies, especially video. He had a calendar there for you on page 20 of video ideas. And then he had a social media calendar on pages 23 and 24. Give you an idea of what should you talk about on said days. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here. Jeff just did it for you. Just do what he says on that day and you've accomplished it. And you'll feel that accomplishment each day, right? Number 9, update your buying power checklist. This was new to me. I've never used a buying power checklist of any kind. I've just told my buyers, here's what you're going to need to do. I do have that buyer map that you guys in Ignite got, okay? So I teach that to them or show that to them of these are the steps and these are your responsibilities in these steps, right? I just had a listing appointment last night. They've been in that house 17 years. They haven't sold a house in a long time. I said, perfect. Here's my seller map.
Let me ask you a
Yes.
question.
Yes.
About the social media guy, he's giving us all the ideas, and where do you usually get all that content from?
Go to that page. Same thing. So California Concierge is going to have some things. Sometimes I just take a link from the Realtor magazine that we all get, Realtor magazine. And I'll just sometimes take a link and put it on my Facebook page and my business page, and I just share something from somebody else that I didn't have to put together. Copy a link. Sometimes the title companies have things you can send out. They'll give it to you for free. They want you to do business with. Yeah, about where all the best fireworks are. They'll do another one for Christmas lights. They might do something for. They have little Thanksgiving pop buys, or they do little, GIFs, if you will, GIFs, whatever those are called. Sometimes they'll send those out, and then you can send them out to your people. Title companies sometimes, the mortgage companies can sometimes have information, so ask Colton and Dominic here. Or any other mortgage company, hey, do you have something I can hand out? So last night, I had a flyer that I got last year or the year before from a title company. It says, are we in a bubble? Are we in a real estate bubble? Is everything gonna pop and drop out of the floor? So I showed them why we're not. And it was just a flyer that some title company made for me a while back. So, and it still was relevant. So seller tips, buyer tips. I usually do stuff kind of on a maintenance schedule. So when it's springtime, remind everybody, hey, make sure you change your air filters frequently, especially during the summer months. Make sure your downspout things from your gutters are clean. So when we get the spring rains, everything will drain off of your roof appropriately. Most people don't have their splash block the right way. I mean, just a little goofy stuff. Maybe, don't forget to clean out, vacuum out your dryer vent. As all the material in the dryer vent can actually catch fire. So it's just little goofy tips like that. And honestly, I Google a lot of them.
List reports, if she contacts Colton, he can send you information to subscribe to
List reports.
listreports.com.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I have a couple different lenders that do those for me. And then, of course, the market updates, which we get through Chartmasters, are always easy to use. I used one last night with my new listing. I took just Wiley, because it's going to be in Wiley. I took April, May, and June. I showed them what the market was then, what it progressed to, and what we expect it to look like by the end of July. It just helped me explain their comps so much better. It was kind of cool, because then I pulled up comps again right in front of them, and she says, well, what do you think? Because, they wanted to price it a little high. I said, here's where I see you, and if we go there, I have no doubt we're going to have multiple offers that are going to push your number up. I mean, their house is stellar in life. And so I said, let's just pull up the most recent comps and a couple of new things that closed since we had first spoken. And sure enough, there was a 4-bedroom, 2-bedroom house. I said we should list at $389, and she wanted $410. Here's the funny thing: that house listed at $489 and it closed at $410.
Oh, God.
I had 2 comps that totally supported what I just said. And I went, see, your house is nicer than those. But we have to create the auction effect. And I showed them the difference. Houses on the market without a price reduction were under contract within 11 days. Houses that had not or had price reductions repeatedly, some were as high as 96 days on the market. I go, this is why I want to price you in the sweet spot. And after that, they were like, okay. Right. So sometimes I just share that stuff on Facebook. That might be a good video. Hey, did you know in the city of Plano in last month, days on market for houses who didn't have a price reduction were on an average 8 days, whereas those who had to keep reducing their prices were on for 121 or 78, whatever that number may be. And I just grabbed that from Chartmasters. It doesn't have to be a long video. People don't want long stuff. They want a long thing, they'll go to the movies. These shorts or these reels are supposed to be really short. Right?
So I can do it home or whatever.
You do 15 to 20 seconds, as long as it's value. You can't sugarcoat stuff you just have to come with fact and value. 15 seconds. I mean, his wasn't longer than 15 seconds.
Just once a month, he said, right?
Whatever the schedule is, I didn't memorize it, I just got it written
I have
down.
a question. What do I say, you know, it says how many door knock on. I know this, when I, in the, what, who do I call? I mean, you know, there's sometimes I don't know who to call. I have
It's in your phone,
many people, I have. a lot
call
of
everybody
people
in your phone.
But it's how to call today, I don't know. I mean,
Call everybody in your phone. So there's a thing called DTD2. It's called, do the database. You've done it from Gold. You take letters for A and R the first day, you do T and X the next, you do C and X or Y the next. So there's a schedule and you do it, so you're contacting everybody with those letters 4 times a year.
And also, what do I say? Sometimes they say,
What do you want to say? What do you think you should say?
I ask many things, and different people, I have different kind of communication.
Exactly. So I can't tell you what to say because everyone's gonna be different.
I see. Okay. It can be anything, like other things as well, it doesn't have to be.
Sometimes when I call my database, I would just simply say, hey, I'm just calling in everybody an update of what the market's been doing in the last 60 days.
I want you to think about something. When somebody calls you,
Yeah,
what do you expect to hear? Is it the same from everybody,
no,
or is it depending on who it is that's calling you?
yeah,
If you got a call from a realtor, what would you like to hear from them?
the market.
You want to hear something about them, or something about what they can do for you?
Yeah, something I can do for them.
Yeah. So if you think about what you would like to hear, those are the kind of things you're going to talk about when you call somebody in the database.